Some of the commitments you made here won't happen unless Congress passes future legislation. How do you convince Republicans and even some Democrats to get behind more spending if they look at this conference and say, China isn't meeting these global goals, Russia doesn't intend to meet these global goals, India doesn't plan to, why should we?
Because we want to be able to breathe and we want to be able to lead the world. Look, I mean it sincerely. I think, presumptuous of me to say, talk for another leader. But the fact that China, trying to assert, understandably, a new role in the world as a world leader, not showing up, come on. The single most important thing that's gotten the attention of the world is climate. Everywhere. From Iceland to Australia to, I mean, it just is a gigantic issue. And they've walked away. How do you do that is claim to be able to have any leadership mantle? Same with Putin and Russia. You know, his tundra is burning. He's in the literally the tundra is burning. He has serious, serious climate problems. And he is mum on the willingness to do anything.
The Biden is
As you spend the next 2 weeks
Some of the commitments you made here won't happen unless Congress passes future legislation. How do you convince Republicans and even some Democrats to get behind more spending if they look at this conference and say, China isn't meeting these global goals, Russia doesn't intend to meet these global goals, India doesn't plan to, why should we?
Because we want to be able to breathe and we want to be able to lead the world. Look, I mean,
the Biden have a really good of blah blah blah. So they say the China is not there for the climate change project, but we already announced for many times. In the 2060, we will be 2030 will be got the highest level from the pollution, but use the coal. But after that, we will be continue use less and less till 2030, 60, and then we will not produce any of pollution anymore. So, especially from the coal business. As this moment from the weather, you can see we really need to fix out this kind of problem. And compared to blend everything in China is not great, I suggest you see all the road. So in all the road, we didn't have a lot of really high pollution of car and the big cylinder of engine of the car. Where a car is most of the time is like a 1.4 liter of engine or like 2.0 turbo engine. So that is a much smaller and use less of the gasoline. Compared with the United States, have a big SUV in everywhere. So in China is much better. And another sense, we have 1.4 billion population. And we need electricity and also need the heat system. So maybe we need more cooperation. So and also my country and China is the biggest factory to produce a lot of solar energy equipment and wind equipment for the energy. But you know, if you give us for help to making the China produce more of energy equipment you bought from China, so could be help the world. But the problem is in this moment, there are many of countries still think China is not many countries. Actually, it's just the United States. United States is the thing China is the enemy for them. And then everything what we did, they think is they against. So, for example, now we try to put pollution more. Pollution less. We need to put pollution less. We need more of equipment from solar equipment and also from windmill equipment. They still target for all the product. They still target, so they still try to block some energy technology sending for China. So they know if we have those of new clean of energy equipment give, they will be produce more. But you know, United States don't have that much factory anymore. So let's give especially the deal with China to help China to produce a lot of solar equipment, to help China produce a lot of windmill for the world. So that's, and also let's borrow more money to China. Let China to build lots of water dam in everywhere in the world to produce water power, to produce wind energy, to produce the solar energy. So let's cooperation with China. Don't target with China. So if you target of China, you will be making pollution more. It's not helpful for world. It's useless. It's just target us. Will be making more disaster.